machine sex. I mean, yeah, I want you really bad. Just leave it on the tape. Then I guess the phone company will come out with sex waiting. That'll be the new thing. Yeah, hold on, honey. I got another call. Oh, hiya, baby. 1 second. Honey, I've got to take this. Got to take this.
Ken's Late Night News with Sandra Sully.
We begin with the signing of...
Keeping you informed, keeping you involved, keeping you in touch. Australia's most established late news service, the Late Night News with Sandra Sully. Weeknights on 10.
Good evening. Making news tonight, how did he survive? A 3-year-old falls from a 5th-storey home unit window and lives. He's fine despite landing on concrete. Who's footing the bill? The Federal Defence Minister's wife takes a military helicopter ride to beat the traffic. A massive fire wipes out an export-quality hay crop. The blaze is expected to burn for another 3 days. And who needs drum lessons? A royal performance from the Prince of Wales. All the details tonight, 10:30.
And in sports tonight, after the news, the Australian Rugby League set to take legal action against Global League. English football boss Maurice Lindsay insists the new Rebel competition is not just another version of Super League. The ARL is not convinced.
We'll certainly be taking legal action to prevent that.
In Melbourne, Windies retired skipper Richie Richardson hints he might play domestic cricket in Australia. And he's very sorry. Jonah Lomu apologises to his mum. All those stories and much more, sports tonight. Join us after the news.
Can you find the cocktail Frankfurt in the bathtub? The Baldy Man can. The Baldy Man can do anything. The Baldy Man, 7:30 Friday.
Meet Stacey.
I'm the person you exploited without a trace of conscience.
Meet Ned.
You're going to have to be more specific.
They're TV's oddest couple.
You slap a wedding dress around a woman and they go insane.
Ned and Stacey. Premieres 8 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, I'm red, 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 red. I said I'm red, 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 red. I'm ready for it.
Come on, Australia, your $2.95 chicken and chips is ready every day.
Life's pretty straight without twisties.
Snap that trail leg. Be aggressive. %, of top athletes polled prefer more carbos. And we got them. Powerade.
Australia, your $2.95 chicken and chips is ready every day.
He woos with words and kills with a kiss.
Cause of death unknown.
A fat-sucking vampire with a diet plan to die for, plus a bizarre bonus X-File.
Whatever's going on here is way over our heads.
The X-Files, 8:30 tonight.
Dawn Fraser, legend for your big Olympic wins.
And I'm going for me 5th, Atlanta. I just scratched this McDonald's game ticket and I could win one of 5 trips to the Olympics in Atlanta.
To swim?
Or a Sony PlayStation with software, an IBM family PC package, or even...
Dawn Fraser, legend, another big win.
One of 8 Honda Odysseys, instantly. Look,
Dawn, you're playing with your food. Oops. It's easy to win in McDonald's Olympic McMatch and Win.
Of course, we bought a Proton because we wanted a roomy car. We looked at the Corolla, but I nearly died when I saw the price. Same with the Lancer. My hubby is a real feature sort of person, and he says the Proton has more features than a Swiss Army knife. Power steering, central locking, fuel-injected engine, 3-year unlimited kilometre warranty. Anyway, so when the Proton dealer said 19,968, drive away, no more to pay, I said to Ron, it's roomy, it's got your features. For goodness sake, stop going on and on about it and buy one.
Contact your Proton dealer now.
% of top athletes polled prefer more carbos. And we got them. Powerade.
After 4 years, they're finally returning. The Red Hot Chili Peppers. The Chili Peppers bring their blistering live show to Melbourne Park.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
The hot tickets are on sale Friday.
Win, win, win!
Norman, win what?
With McDonald's Olympic McMatch and Win, I can scratch and win one of 40 Air New Zealand family holidays to LA. LA, win, win, win!
Norman, I heard you the first time. It's easy to win in McDonald's Olympic McMatch and Win.
Vent radioactive gas. YES. Sound alertness horn. YES. Decalcify calcium ducts.
Meet TV's hottest couple.
You slap a wedding dress around a woman and they go insane.
You really are a psychopath.
Ned and Stacey, next.
I met her down at Hungry Jack's. Her name was Jill and the place was packed. It was the answer to all my dreams. She loved chicken and I loved beef.
You'll be wanting our Jack and Jill value meal.
Jack and Jill value meal.
For $7.95 you get a Whopper, a chicken burger, 2 regular fries and 2 regular Cokes.
Jack and Jill value meal. Got the hungries.
You think she likes the new furniture?
I think she loves it. She pored over the IKEA catalogue for weeks, you know.
Wish I had a study as nice as this.
Don't be silly. You've got your workshop to make your mess in.
What do you think of the room, sweetheart?
How about some chocolate cake in the cafe?
Cool. And Dad, relax. I love it.
IKEA. Better by design.
Donna! Hey, Donna!
Thanks. You got 3 wishes and, make it snappy.
I want to be rich, irresistible, and really, really cool.
Tim, I'm back.
Cool. For a cool change this summer, keep your Arnott's Tim Tams in the fridge.
I'm waiting for this tomato to get really ripe.
Then I'm going to use it to show you why you should throw away your old toothbrush and try an amazing new kind of brush, one that's been making headlines around the world. Not long to go now.
You know what I'd really like right now? A KFC chicken fillet burger.
Or their new chicken fillet burger combo. That's where you get a chicken fillet burger, chips, and a Pepsi, all for $4.75.
Could you?
Oh, boy.
Would you?
No.
Drink.
I'm very sorry.
From the fountain of youth.
You're violating the laws of nature.
When the chance of staying young forever is offered, who will be tempted? Sequest DSV, 7:30 Thursday.
You better make that too.
Now, in a unique exercise in interactive television, you decide what happens next. Will Russell and Glenn A, land in an all-girl ski lodge, or B, on a passing UFO? To cast your vote, call now. The Extreme Adventures of Russell and Glenn, brought to you by Foster's Light Ice.
Dance with you.
I know a lot about formulas, but for indigestion and heartburn, there's only one I recommend, Mylanta, specially formulated for fast relief. I recommend the antacid that was recommended to me, Mylanta.
Mighty relief, mighty fast, Mylanta.
We are proud to present a story for anyone who's ever acted on a dream, danced to a different tune, or heard a glorious inner voice, which turned out to be their own, Cosy.
Norman May,
Win.
legend,
Win.
the voice of gold.
Win.
Norman, win
The
what?
big one, Bruce. With McDonald's Olympic McMatch and win, I can scratch and win a trip to Atlanta. Or one of 8 Honda Odysseys, 40 Air New Zealand family holidays to LA, 50 IBM family PC packages with software, or one of 300 Sony PlayStation packages, and thousands of other great prizes.
It's easy to win in McDonald's Olympic McMatch and win.
I used to swim a great 150 and then just die on the way home, and I think I really had to change the messages that I was sending to myself, just changing that little phrase that you say to yourself at the end, that they're not going to pass me, that I'm strong enough to finish, and give you the strength to keep going. If I hold on to my dreams and my power through the water, if I do the work, I'll do Australia proud.
Over 60 of Hollywood's biggest names, stand-up routines from TV's favourite comedians, and original footage that Mel, Nicole, Keanu and Ellen wish never, ever existed.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye now, bye-bye.
Before they were stars, 8:30 Thursday on 10.
He's got a false name.
Stole my gun, my badge.
Stolen money.
Thank you, officer.
Yeah, it's great, lady.
And they're living on borrowed time.
He's making arrests.
Alec Baldwin and Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Don't get caught.
8:30 Friday, Miami Blues.
Diamond headache number 14. The too many hours in front of the computer headache.
Are you still here?
Are you still here?
Diamond with pure paracetamol. Fast relief for the 101 headaches in your life.
99% of top athletes polled prefer more carbos. And we got them. Powerade.
The army of the 12 monkeys has arrived.
5 million people are gonna die!
Bruce Willis, Madeline Stowe, and Brad Pitt. I can get you out. Nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor.
I'm crazy as a loon.
12 monkeys.
If only I had more time to spend on myself.
At Myer, time is something you can have plenty of, with 6 months interest-free on all furniture, on all electricals, on all home furnishings. That's no interest, no deposit, no repayments for 6 months, plus much more in store.
Now time is on my side.
Hurry in for interest-free at Myer while there's still time.
Diamond on headache number 54. The shopping with the kids headache. Diamond on with pure paracetamol. Fast relief for the 101 headaches in your life.
Saturday, get ready for Rush Hour.
We don't have time. He's gonna go right now.
They're a rare breed of daredevil in a radical new action drama.
I just thought I'd let you know what you were missing.
It'll put you on the edge of your seat. Extreme, 7:30 Saturday on 10. Everybody's singing.
Overture, curtains light.
I'm a day person.
On with the show, this is it.
Seinfeld the musical, now playing 7 o'clock weeknights.
You better make that too.
Now, in a unique exercise in interactive television, you decide what happens next. Will Russell and Glenn A, land in an all-girls ski lodge, or B, on a passing UFO? To cast your vote, call now. The Extreme Adventures of Russell and Glenn, brought to you by Foster's Light Ice.
I want to spend my life with a girl like you. And do all the things that you want me to. Till that time has come, that we might live as one. Can I dance with you?
I'm standing on the site of the newest Officeworks superstore. It's going to have everything for small business. A huge range of paper over here. Stacks of folders and filing cabinets. Faxes, computers, and you get coffee and biscuits down the back. All at Officeworks, guaranteed low prices every day. Where else could you find all of this under one roof? Taking care of business. Oi, mind the photocopiers.
When you've got back pain that feels like this, new Actiprofen offers relief fast. Containing powerful ibuprofen, use Actiprofen only as directed. New Actiprofen relieves pain fast.
Get ready
What the hell are you doing?
to go ballistic with the hottest action-packed movie of the year. Travolta, Slater.
You're out of your mind. Ain't it cool?
Broken Arrow. Now Telstra gives you the world for 40% less. Call overseas with Telstra 0011 International, midnight to 7 a.m. Monday to Friday until May 10 for 40% less than during peak times. So if you're missing someone, tell them. Tell the world. Telstra 0011 International, midnight to 7 a.m. Monday to Friday to May 10. At 40% less than the peak rate, it doesn't cost much to stay in touch.
Good evening. In the news tonight, the miraculous survival of a 3-year-old boy who fell 5 floors onto concrete and lived. Labor unveils its new frontbench lineup. Laurie Brereton in the Plum Foreign Affairs Post. Gareth Evans takes Treasury. A warning tonight for asthma sufferers about the new ozone pumps. A boom for the local car industry. 20,000 Australian-made Camrys shipped out to the Middle East. And a question, has Prince Charles got rhythm? Find out tonight, 10:30.
And in sports tonight after the news, the Australian Rugby League set to take legal action against Global League. English football boss Maurice Lindsay insists the new rebel competition is not just another version of Super League. The ARL is not convinced.
We'll certainly be taking legal action to prevent that.
In Melbourne, Wendy's retired skipper Richie Richardson hints he might play domestic cricket in Australia, and he's very sorry. Jonah Lomu's apology to his mum. Sports tonight. Join us right after the news.
Ah, nice of you to join us. Just getting my beauty sleep.
Didn't work.
Oh, you're here. Anyway, my taste buds are calling. So, a bit of fibre, eh, son? Fibre? Just give me these fat, juicy sultanas and these toasted multi flakes. I mean, if God had meant us to eat health food, he'd have given us health buds, wouldn't he?
Kellogg's Sultana brand, nutritious food made tasty.
It's Robin Williams in the greatest movie adventure you'll ever take. Jumanji.
If you or someone close to you is in trouble with gambling, there's expert help that's free and confidential. Call G-Line. Free call 1-800-622-112.
I need help.
If it's laughter you're after, then you've come to the right place. Sucker. Catherine Oxenberg guest stars.
Isn't the Lost Baldwin brother happy?
In a fabulous Fran Fun Fest. At 6:30, it's an all-new nanny. Then at 7, they're doing strange things.
Horizontal on the butcher block.
In strange places.
Shake and bake in the kitchen. All right, listen.
With strange people.
I hear you're pretty handy in the kitchen.
It's right as comedy.
You need to get a life.
You need to get a bed.
Hudson Street, right after the nanny, Sunday on 10.
Hey, Ed. You okay?
There's blood.
It's only a paper cut. Listen, Ed, I need to talk to you. Ed, this is never easy. And everybody down here sure likes you a lot, Funchy. And I know it's tough because you're new to this area. Ed, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to let you go. I mean, your work is first rate, and like I said, you're a good guy. But you know the story. Cutbacks and seniority, and you're a low man on the pole.
Could I work part-time?
Guys took up a collection today. It's $100.
To apply, call the Home Loan Hotline on 1800 558 558.
Keep on going, keep on going. You're catching up on her fast. Look at
Think I can do a 5-minute last mile?
You can do it.
Wishful thinking from Karen Smyers. Well, it does appear that Paula Newby-Fraser is experiencing the triathlete's biggest fear. She's hitting the wall. Her lead, 3 minutes with 4 miles to go, but surely that's enough. She's down. Newby-Fraser's hit a volunteer. She's totally disoriented. This is the cruel reality of the Ironman, but she's going on.
It was strange. She bounced right back up, got right back into the race as if nothing happened, and that is, as you say, either because she's very focused or totally out of it.
These last few miles to the finish now are going to be a long, long way for this young woman.
They started this day together, side by side, 9 hours ago, 140 miles ago. Paula Newby-Fraser built what seemed to be an insurmountable lead on the bike. But the Ironman isn't designed to be won or lost in the second, third, or even sixth hour. It is designed to be a test of everything you've got, to the end. Paula knows that. The lead fell slowly, irrevocably, shrank, dwindled, all but destroyed. Karen Smyers, constant, driving, less than 2 minutes back with less than a mile to go.
Since 1986, Paula's been winning these Gatorade Ironmans, but that doesn't make them any easier or more pleasant. Mind you, this sport was never meant to be pleasant, but the reward is the great inner satisfaction felt from success. Newby-Fraser is not getting such a feeling. She's in desperate trouble. Her mind is confused by the efforts of an extraordinary day. The 7-time champion in her final Ironman finds her body in turmoil. Her champion instincts alone force it onward.
This is the final stretch, a downhill before the turn onto Ali'i Drive, home of the finish. When Newby-Fraser rounds that corner, she'll be just 400 yards, 4 football fields from the finish line. She's still trying to get water. If she has it in her, this is going to be one incredible finish because Karen Smyers is right there.
And Smyers comes round the corner. She has her in her sights. Paula Newby-Fraser blissfully is unaware. and quite frankly, probably doesn't care right now.
Paula Newby-Fraser is slowing. And now stopping. Staggered like a boxer. A tap from Smyers, who goes on by. And Paula would need one of the great recoveries and sprints to overtake Smyers.
Al, there's no way Paula is ever going to recover from this.
Phil, it is so uncomfortable seeing someone so dominant in the Ironman being so totally dismantled by the same event. Meanwhile, Smyers, who's been hearing it from the fans for the last couple of miles, they saw Paula Newby-Fraser first, then told Karen what they saw, and what they saw was a champion losing her stuff. Dehydration, exhaustion, the wall, they're powerful things, but they're far away from what Karen Smyers is feeling right now at the age of 34. To have one time been a short distance specialist, to come here to the big island of Hawaii and win this.
Six miles from the finish, Karen Smyers could never have carried a hope of winning this race. How time has changed. At one time, she was almost 12 minutes behind. She never lost hope or faith, and in the end, she has won her first Gatorade Ironman. The 34-year-old from Boston, at only her third attempt, has never been worse than fourth. In 11 years of racing, she's never known injury or dropped out. Today, her reward is victory.
Meanwhile, Paula Newby-Fraser has the sneakers off, socks too, just grabbing every liquid she can in sight. Some event personnel are there.
Make sure that stays clear back behind you.
That's what we thought.
Just a couple hundred yards. Can you just wait? Take your time, Paul. Move back, please. Come on, move back.
Watch behind for the other runners.
Move back. Can I have some?
And what a contrast. Karen Smyers is the first American to win since 1985. And this is what's behind her on the road.
It's getting more frightening. Paula Newby-Fraser laying down in the middle of the road. Other finishers are running around.
I think that's just...
She can't be assisted or she'll be disqualified.
Getting cold water.
Paula's fiance, Paul Huddle. The news got to the finish line in a hurry.
She needs an ambulance. Get an ambulance right now. 911. Who's got a cellular phone now?
This is just a spectator on the side looking on. She happens to have a cellular phone.
Ambulance. Yeah, I got some. Wait a minute. Get a phone. I think I'm gonna die.
Let's get her out. Let's get her out of here. Let's get her out of here. Can we cover her? Can we? Just needs to cover her. We can cover her, but we need to get her.
I'm gonna die. You're okay. You're about to die.
Ambulance on the way to a frightening scene. We'll be back.
I've taken a lot of risks making my money, so the fewer the risks investing it, the better. That's why I listen to the right people. MLC, they're like a good pit crew. They're a strong team to have behind you when you're building an investment portfolio. MLC's philosophy is simple: performance with lower than average risks. If money matters, talk to MLC.
A design unlike any other is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Introducing a design you've never seen from a name you know well. The all-new V6 Ford Taurus Kia. Now it's your turn to be inspired.
Microsoft Office 95. Microsoft Plus, Publisher, Small Business Pack, Microsoft Mouse, free internet offer, Windows 95 training CD, 3 CD samplers and more. The Microsoft Office Value Pack. At only $599, it's our best software offer ever.
Glenn Seaton's preparing for a hard race. Pure punishment. There are incredible physical demands. Starting time, fueling's critical. Icy, strong iced coffee. Fuel for the day.
Al, I need the right clutch kit.
Then don't go past PBR, mate. When buying a clutch kit, you have to make sure you get the correct load to prevent slipping, enough lift for smooth gear selection, and a cover assembly that's balanced.
Want to know more? Ask a professional. Auto Pro. Call 132776.
For smooth take-up and longer life.
All right. They're still yellow. Still fighting. Holy moly. Still ready for a little love.
I'd rather kiss a dead moose's butt.
Jack Lemmon. What? Walter Matthau. So I'll call you? And Margaret. Sophia Loren. Grumpier old men. Back with more than they deserve.
It ain't the size that matters.
Monday on Water Rats, it doesn't get dirtier.
This is personal with him.
Than down on the
You
wharves,
think it was an outside job?
You're the cops.
where they deal out their own brand of justice.
It's a matter of who gets what information first. It better be us.
And there's romance in the air.
Look, last night I was just...
None of my business what you do after hours. I couldn't care less about your family tree.
Could have fooled me.
The highest quality Australian drama.
Pull your nets in now. You're in a shipping lane.
Pull your head in. Come on.
Gotta go.
Optus presents Water Rats, returning 7:30 Monday on 9.
Paula Newby-Fraser is still on the ground, and this is first-timer Isabelle Mouton of France, and I think she'd have been happy with third, but now she's going to finish second.
This is going on 15 minutes of being down and out with a little delirium thrown in. No longer is Paula Newby-Fraser chanting, "I think I'm going to die." Medical aid on the scene, ambulance 2.
Cold water, cold water.
She's getting doused, and she's drinking.
Is anyone from medical around here? Yes.
It had all seemed a foregone conclusion. Paula Newby-Fraser was going to win again. Then the wall, then the appearance of Karen Smyers. Now all Karen wants is to see Paula safely home.
She needs your help. Let's help her on in. Come on, Paula. Come on, we're here for you.
While they were doing the TV interview, another athlete came in, racer number 504.
Still, she's not moving.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let her do what she wants to do. Paula.
Just leave me alone.
She's not disqualified yet, so no.
You guys
So would you please respect? She has every intention of crossing the finish line. She has just told everyone if they leave her alone for a moment, she might just be able to finish.
I have all day.
Yeah, you do. You do, Paula.
Slightly indignant, Paula Newby-Fraser wants it to finish her way, quickly to Filligan.
When you caught Paula, did you say anything?
I kind of caught her. She was actually not doing too well. I'm afraid. I hope she finishes. She was really staggering. You know, when you're really on the edge there. So she's hurting. I mean, I made up a lot of 2 minutes in the last 2 miles, so she's hurting.
But you really wanted this. You're really a comparatively newcomer to the Ironman. You must feel good today.
I guess 3 times isn't exactly a newcomer, but, you know, I kept going through my head that she had said this was her last time, and so I really, really wanted to dig deep, and I was getting so much support from people out there. They just kept saying, she's right there, Karen, dig, dig, and, you know, people are saying, you gotta want it, and I remember getting that same comment before I won the World Championships. I was in 4th, and someone said, you gotta want it, Karen, and it kind of like sunk in, and I'm like, you're right, it's right there for the taking, just dig, you know, and I knew I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I was already running as hard as I could, really. I mean, it was, she really kind of, I think, handed it to me at the end there because she lost it.
Give me a little drink of water. Drink of water. Someone have a bottle of water.
Paula Newby-Fraser said, give me one more drink of water and I can walk to the finish. This is totally surreal. A little bit over 20 minutes. She has shaken off the delirium, the doctors, and everyone who said get in the ambulance and retire. No, she's going to retire after this 400 yards. And it seems as though she has completely roared the spirit of this Gatorade Ironman back to life. People have seen her finish as strongly as a triathlete can 7 times. And yet when you take into account all the things that great athletes have, spirit, determination, courage, grit, maybe this is the finish that is the most special of them all.
And Paula Newby-Fraser today proves to be the great champion she always has been. She will not be the title holder this time, but she will finish just the same. And she will walk towards the line in 3rd place here, despite the time she's spent on the ground. And through on the inside is Brazilian Fernanda Keller. She's going to snatch 3rd place from her. How cruel this race can be.
The events of the final few minutes, from Mark Allen to Paula and Karen's resolve, clinch it. The Ironman triathlon has seen its greatest day. No other one can touch the emotion, admiration, and disbelief.
Karen Smyers giving Paula a hug right here at the finish.
Well, if they were Team Psycho before, no telling what Karen Smyers and her Massachusetts friends will be like now. The best on Walden Pond, the Pacific, the world. In fact, she and Paula Newby-Fraser were so far and away the best that Paula's 20 minutes out of it and on the ground pushed her down to only 4th. The rest of the story in the Gatorade Ironman Triathlon in a moment.
Back in a sec.
Okay. Stop it! Kids.
Low on time and low on fuel? Try Mobile Card Express. First, swipe your card, then fill up, and you're away.
Kids are quiet.
Card Express, the fastest way to pay at the pump at Quicks and mobile service stations.
Hi shoppers, I'm back with more winning deals from Victory Blinds. How about vertical blinds from only $89? You want more? What about timber blinds from $149? And there's more! Slimline and micro Venetians start at $89. You still want more? I'll throw in canvas awnings from $159. Those specials and more, shoppers, this week during Victory's Super Seller Sale. So come on and sing.
Victory, victory, the winning blinds. 131399.
When I was a kid, I loved water and milk. I still love water and I still love milk. The only difference is now I drink Pure Light Star. It tastes great, but it's only 1% fat. Oh yeah, and I still write my name on my milk. Pure Light Start, 1% fat, 99% taste.
those CDs are on the way to you, Lisa, and you have a great...
Well, I think they like it.
That's a worry. When do we hear? Committee decision, don't hold your breath.
Hey, do you think we can really afford all those extra people, or you just...
Oh, yeah. St George think we can. They came up with some really good financing ideas. Your Irish joke was wasted on him, Terry.
Who?
The chairman. O'Connor.
Life is full of uncertainty, but at least you know where you stand with St George.
You can't go on working like this.
Look, just be patient.
Look, it's only that I'm worried about you. Are you sure you're looking after yourself?
I am. I am looking after myself.
Healthy choice is looking after yourself.
Al, my windscreen wipers don't work properly.
What you need is a new set of wiper blades. Trico wiper blades come as original equipment on 8 out of 10 cars. Did you know a wiper blade...
Want to know more? Ask a professional. Auto Pro. Call 1327776.
Most expensive piece of safety equipment you can buy for you.
From the heights of control
I have enough dirt on you to blow you right out of your pumps.
to the depths of rock bottom,
I told them everything. Rachel, calm down.
Just hold me.
Central Park West has it all.
No one's watching but me.
And more, including your chance to win. Simply ring this number and tell us who is nominated for an Oscar in the new movie release, Casino. You could score a trip to an Academy Awards party in LA or one of 500 double passes to see Casino. Be watching CPW Tuesday, 9:30 to win.
The sun is setting on the big island of Hawaii. The pros have long since crossed the finish line, but for hundreds, this day will linger long into the night. You want to be an Ironman? When you finish your ride, Darryl Haley, go run a marathon. Your arms are burning, but how about your spirit? You still have a long way to go, John McClane. They run on into the night, chasing a dream to be Ironmen like their heroes. To be like Paula, to someday breathe that rarefied air.
I've given this race my heart and my soul. You know, I really have given a lot to this race, and I can honestly say with that finish, I know why I'm not coming back to race it again. You know, there were moments where I thought I was going to die. I was going, oh my gosh, I'm going to give my whole life to this race. And, but I wanted to finish, you know. There's, you know, like I said, no matter what happens, I wanted to cross the finish line.
Cross the finish line, no matter what happens, no matter what it takes. And maybe, if you're lucky, you'll have a good day. Maybe a great day. Maybe a day for all time. Like Mark Allen. If this is farewell, all hail the conquering hero, the Iron Man, and now legend. And what of other heroes, like 65-year-old evergreen Sydney Ironman Bill Stafford? He would make the finish in just over 14 hours, second in his age group. And 30-year-old Bruce Thomas, fighting the demons in his body telling him to stop, to finish 34th of 1,500 in 9 hours 14. Or the irrepressible Matty Harris, his first time across the line in Hawaii, cheeky right to the end. Or the best of the Australian women, Canberra's Alison Coote, 9th in the women's race, improving on her 15th the year before. Congratulations.
Long after the sun has arced its path across the sky, they run. Spirits, apparitions, dancing through the shadows. How do you measure what it means to conquer this course? What gauge would you use to measure this man's heart? His handicap.
Hey, Mum, how you doing? Get in there, mate. Good swim? Oh, certainly. Had a good swim, didn't I? Fabulous swim. Excellent. Oh, what? You were smoking.
He braved the ocean just like the others. He challenged the black rock and searing sun, just like the others. Like them in every way save this. John McClane has covered 115 miles using only his arms. Now he faces a marathon, just like all the others. A bell, a clarion call, urging them, warning them. Ralph and Katy Perry, husband and wife, side by side the entire day. Finish by midnight, though, or you don't finish at all. That's the deal. Thinking of the finish, being at the finish, it is the only thought at times that puts one foot in front of the other.
You know, my philosophy was just do the best that I can all day. If I make the cutoffs, you know, that's super. And if I don't, at least I know I've done the best that I can.
That's why it is so cruel when the dreams go unfulfilled. There are effortless downhills, but every mountain has two sides. And sometimes the only way forwards is backwards.
Pain's not going to last forever. The memory is. Hey, get that on tape, brothers. Beautiful.
The pain doesn't last forever, but for those who bear witness, the memory of accomplishment always will. Fly, John McClane, like Mercury fly. Run, Lokalani, celebrate your youth. Be strong, Ralph and Katy, both in your 60s. Relish your youth as well. But remember the clarion bell's simple warning. It is 5 minutes after midnight. The bell has tolled. The deadline passed. Yet the Ironman credo still holds. Finish. Just finish. It lives in 72-year-old Bill Bell, who is cramped and dizzy, yet drawn to it. Drawn to it. It pulls each of them to this tiny island year after year to witness the Ironman, to be an Ironman, to finally touch the line.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.
To you by Goodyear, MLC and Mobile.
Monday on A Current Affair, getting things fixed around the house.
Pull it apart, pretend to be testing something.
Can you trust your repairman?
I was there just to pick it up and get it back to the workshop.
All this TV needs is a $1 part.
I'm going to replace the good fuse with a blown fuse.
So why $163?
Blatantly ripped off.
We go undercover to expose the tricksters and their tricks.
And I will do it at anybody's expense.
You'll be surprised how many do it. Plus, monkeys being trained to help the sick feel better.
We're going to be more than just mates.
A Current Affair. Tonight on 9, Pancho Patterson's The Man from Snowy River, 60 minutes. Then the spectacular final of the World Cup Cricket, Australia versus Sri Lanka live.
This program proudly brought to you by Mobile.
Sports Sunday's feature lineup this afternoon includes the high-flying Emma George. This former circus performer thrilled athletics fans by breaking the world pole vault record 3 times.
I always say if Emma went missing, instead of looking around, you'd look up first to see where she was.
The racing industry is fueled by battling trainers. Only some realise their dreams. After many fruitless years, Melbourne's Mickey Winks finally found his ultimate thrill.
25,000, that's the dearest horse I've had, competing against beautiful big Sir Tristram horses.
While rugby league stole the headlines, the traditional game seemed to transform quickly and smoothly. But with dollars usurping amateurism, will rugby retain its soul?
In the move to professionalism and player payments, that we actually don't forget that there's a certain culture, a certain sort of fabric to the game that we don't want to lose.
When Newcombe and Roach took control of our Davis Cup team, the future seemed assured. But we crashed dismally, beaten by Russia, South Africa and Hungary. Where to from here?
You know, we're a little bit down, and this is the time when you show your mettle, what you're made of.
Mark Okolupo is a surfer's surfer. He has never won a world title, but his name means millions in merchandising.
Because, you know, it's one life, and I feel like I owe it to myself and more than anything to give it another shot.
Our track and field team to the Olympics is a record size. But will this translate to medals? Athletics Australia chief Phil King is hoping it will.
And there has been a lifting in standard across the board, and it's been one hell of a team effort.
The cricket world held its breath when Daryl Hare called Sri Lanka's Muralidharan for throwing. The umpire maintains his conviction that the bowler's action was faulty.
I was doing what I felt was right, and under the laws of cricket I was obliged to do that.
The best sports stories and the latest scores this afternoon on Sports Sunday. Hello and welcome to Sports Sunday on the day Australia is due to meet Sri Lanka for one-day cricket's greatest prize. Mary Gearan doesn't know the result of that match just yet, but she does have the word on other weekend fixtures. Here she is with her sports update.
Thanks, Ken. Hello, everyone. Carlton's eyeing off another premiership after advancing to the Ansett Cup Grand Final, winning at Waverley last night. The Blues were at almost full strength as they easily accounted for North Melbourne by 28 points.
The reigning night champs were underdogs against the day premiers, the Roos minus Carey and Longmire, while Carlton had the surprise bonus of Queensland-based Andrew McKay in their lineup. The Blues drew first blood, 2 goals without a centre bounce in between.
But I think he's got it home, he has.
McKernan was doing his best to make up for the absence of North's star forwards.
Welcome back, Corey.
But the Roos missed more than they made, while Camporelli's second for the quarter put the Blues up by 13 points at the change. The defending champs continued to fritter away chances. Injuries weren't helping any. Carlton added to the pain with 3 for the turn.
Brilliant football by the Blues.
The second half was a scrappy affair, but the Blues continued to have all the answers, plus a few questions. It was all too easy for the favourites.
What play by the captain. What play by Carlton.
With more men down, a single goal was the Kangaroos' only bright spot for the quarter. Kernahan's third for the game just about wrapped it up.
Oh, lovely kick. No worries.
The final stanza was uninspiring. North managing the only major of the term a minute from time. The Blues' juggernaut rolls on, their 19th straight win earning the chance to add a night flag to their day pennant when they play St Kilda next Saturday.
For teams knocked out of the Ansett Cup, practice games are scheduled around the country. Last night, Collingwood and Brisbane were at Lavington. The main talking point, the return of Alistair Lynch.
After a long layoff with chronic fatigue syndrome, Alistair Lynch did enough against Collingwood to be named in Brisbane's best, but not enough to stop the Bears being beaten by 4 goals. Tony Shaw used 15 players off the interchange against the sluggish Bears, who complained of being airsick after taking 4 hours to fly to Lavington. Tony Francis was clearly best on ground for the Magpies and booted 4 goals.
Controversial England rugby captain Will Carling has had mixed fortunes in his farewell match as skipper. Playing in his 59th and final match as captain, Carling was taken from the field on a stretcher as England sealed both the Five Nations Championship and the Triple Crown.
As Will Carling led England out for the 59th and final time, he was given a huge ovation from the 70,000-strong Twickenham crowd. A wave of acknowledgement from him, the teams then lined up for a minute's silence in respect to the people of Dunblane. Ireland opened the scoring in the second minute, a drop goal from David Humphreys, all Ireland's points coming from the boot. But Paul Grayson replied in kind, 7 penalties and a conversion bringing his match tally to 23 points. England were down 15-9 when Carling stumbled and injured his ankle ligaments. His father looked on as Carling was stretchered off, a disappointing end to his 8-year reign as England's most successful captain. But in the second half, John Slightholme's first international try helped England to a 28-15 win, and another Five Nations title and Triple Crown for Carling. England have Wales to thank after their win over France in Cardiff, scrum half Robert Howley opening the scoring with a brilliant solo effort. France recovered, and 10 minutes later, Thomas Castagned scored this breakaway try, but 7 minutes from time, Neil Jenkins kicked a penalty to give Wales their first Five Nations win in 2 years.
The final of cricket's World Cup is only hours away, but Shane Warne says so far he's got the nerves under control. Warne found his best form of the tournament in the semi-final against the West Indies and could well hold the key to Australia claiming one-day cricket's greatest prize. Meanwhile, in Shield cricket, at the MCG, the Vics have taken a 3rd wicket to have WA in big trouble at 3 for 71, needing 386 for victory. And in South Australia, the Crow-Eaters have the upper hand with Tasmania 3 for 102 and needing 370 to win. In tennis, a 4-month layoff doesn't seem to have done Steffi Graf any harm. The world #1 took just 2 hours to beat Conchita Martinez in the Everett Cup tournament in California. Graf was returning to tennis after foot surgery in December. And Ken, that's all from me for the moment.
Thank you, Mary. Ahead on Sports Sunday, the girl who went up a pole for a world record. And after the break, surfing original Mark Occhilupo.
You know, I've got something that, you know, I don't really know what to do with, but now I'm learning what to do with it. But, you know, it's a talent that I'm gifted with and all I should do is use it.
And that it's fun sort of going up in the air, and there's always the challenge that you have to really think about what you're doing before you take off.
Road leader to flight. Please advise fuel status.
Yeah, okay.
No problems.
Low on time and low on fuel? Try Mobile Card Express. First, swipe your card, then fill up, and you're away.
Red 4, please advise fuel status.
Red leader, fuel is A-OK.
Card Express, the fastest way to pay at the pump at Quicks and mobile service stations.
For a month during the short northern summer, most of the northwest Atlantic population of common murres meet and breed on this one rock. This is their only chance to lay an egg in a relatively safe place and keep it warm enough to hatch.
To apply for a Citibank Visa card, pick up a form at any post office and get the only card that offers you the new front photo option, free rewards and 24-hour personal service. Citibank Visa card. Applications now in your post office.
What the real paint expert says about Berger.
Oi! What about the rest? Oh, finally I get a coat of Berger solar screen for some real UV protection. Then he chucks it in because it's too hot. I'll tell you, this heat's driving me up the you-know-what. Wow! Without solar screen, I'd really be under the weather.
Berger solar screen. If your walls could talk, they'd say Berger keeps on keeping on.
How many numbers games are more fun than Crown Roulette? 0. And roulette is really easy to play. All you do is pick your lucky numbers. Just put your bets on those numbers, then wait for the wheel to spin and the ball to drop. And if luck's on your side, pick up your winnings. Crown Roulette. What could be easier?
G'day. Hey, get down to Bow Repairs for Beau's birthday and you'll be able to pick up a fantastic bargain on tyres. Like these Australian-made steel radials. They've been reduced to just $49. And how about Olympic sprinters? They're down to $105. And all our performance tyres are much cheaper than a night at the Warsaw Ballet.
That's a very poor choice of words, Dave.
Beau's big birthday sale. Tyres at unbeatable prices. Call 132381 for your nearest Bow Repair store.
Monday on Water Rats, it doesn't get dirtier.
This is personal with him.
Than down on the
Did you
wharves,
think it was an outside job? You're the cops.
where they deal out their own brand of justice.
It's a matter of who gets what information first. It better be us.
And there's romance in the air.
Look, last night, I was just... None of my business what you do after hours. I couldn't care less about your family tree. Could have fooled me.
The highest quality Australian drama.
Pull your nets in now. You're in a shipping lane. Pull your head in. Gotta go.
Optus presents Water Rats, returning 7:30 Monday on 9.
In surfing, names like Richards, Carroll, Curran and Slater evoke unconditional respect. All of them are champions and all revered by their peers. You won't find Mark Occhilupo's name on a world championship, but the respect for his ability, particularly among fellow surfers, is nonetheless impressive. After several years away from the circuit dealing with his personal demons, Occhi is back better than ever. Charles Stewart has the story.
He gets down in them low and just drives through them with so much power and so much speed that it disappoints you that you can't do it the same.
He just is so strong. He can dominate waves like really like no one else ever has.
You know, I feel gifted. You know, I know people might have been frustrated by me, looking like I wanted to throw it away or I want to grab it. But, you know, like, in that way, I'm an everyday guy. You know, I've got something that, I don't really know what to do with. But now I'm learning what to do with it. But, you know, it's a talent that I'm gifted with and all I should do is use it.
Mark Occhilupo. They call him the Freak, the Raging Bull, or simply Occhi. His talent's so prodigious, even his surfing peers are often in awe.
I think it's great that Mark Occhilupo's in the contest and that I'm surfing in it against him. It's just incredible. He's just an amazing surfer and I think it's unreal.
Mark was one of my favorite surfers of all time.
Best backhand surfer ever.
He's the freak.
Bruce, with 11 minutes remaining, I'd say Kelly Slater and Mark Occhilupo would be making their way out to the point.
At Kirra, the Gold Coast crowds packed every vantage point to see Occy, the star of the 80s, competing against Kelly Slater, the star of the 90s. It's the match-up of the contest, but a couple of years ago, it would have been unimaginable. Mark Occhilupo burst onto the World Surfing Tour as a very hot 16-year-old professional 13 years ago. He was instantly successful, winning contests, moving up the rankings into the top 5 and signing lucrative sponsorship deals.
When you're young, you don't really know, you're not going to go and say that I'm too young and, to do it, because all you want to do is do it. You tell any young kid that, they've got the talent to do it, but you should wait a while. It's pretty hard to wait. Maybe my heats were always on when it was cloudy or something.
There's not enough photos of you in there. Yeah, I know.
Gordon Merchant, the founder of the highly successful surfwear company Billabong, was one who cautioned the young Occhilupo against touring so soon.
When I first started sponsoring him and he started doing well, he wanted to go on the circuit, and I really tried hard to talk him out of it because I thought he was too young, and I knew just how grueling it was to go on a world circuit, and especially for a 16-year-old. So, I took him around for that first year, but I think that, for somebody like him, it just takes its toll.
They were heady times. He starred in a series of surf movies, travelled the world in style, made hundreds of thousands of dollars, and moved a lot of product for Billabong.
When we first went into America, Occy was really at his peak in regards to surfing contests, and he had a couple of major wins at the AP Pro, beating Tom Curran in the final. And Tom Curran then was, the all-time great surfer for America, and Occy just knocked him right off his perch. And so that kind of really, brought people around to looking at Billabong.
Billabong's fortunes continued to prosper. It grew into a company exporting hundreds of millions of dollars of surfwear. Its young star also had money, but it ran easily through his fingers. In the end, he had little to show for it.
I lost a lot of money on doing the tour. To me, I still spend a lot of money. I mean, I could have a lot more right now, but, it's just a lifestyle. It just comes with the sport.
But much more disturbing was what was going on in this young mind, a mind grappling with fame and fortune, living out of a suitcase, having to compete often in poor waves, and also trying to grow up.
I kind of went through a manic period where I just, I wasn't right, I wasn't sleeping enough, and I kind of lost my grip really on reality more than anything. I had a few things that happened to me that made me go that way, but my father passed away and a couple of my friends around the same period, but there's no way I can blame it on that, but maybe I should have stayed home at the time.
It was really, he was in such a bad way. I remember looking at him thinking, it was one of the first times I thought I'd actually seen madness. I looked in his eyes and just couldn't register with anything there. And it was that heavy and disappointing and sad for me. Then we had this heat that was real weird, and I think that was sort of one of the turning points for Ock too, when it got that bad that he just went, no, I can't do that anymore.
I lived life hard. I mean, I can't say I didn't, not sleeping enough and probably, drinking too much. But, when you're at that stage, people think you're doing all kinds of things, but you're actually feeling so unbalanced and manic that you don't need, say, drugs or anything to make you wild like that, because I know people that go through that too, and they don't even take drugs, but they go through a manic period in their life, and, it looks like they're quite spun out, but, they just, I'm sure everyone can relate to going through that.
Who's in the first heat?
The return journey to planet Earth for Mark Occhilupo began a few years ago when he met his wife Beatrice and quit the Pro Tour. Fortunately, Billabong continued its financial support, helping him to buy a house, even though its star was lying on the couch, watching sport on TV, rarely surfing, and getting fat. His weight ballooned from 76 kilos to nearly 110.
It's hard to explain how actually big I was. I was too scared to go into Billabong to ask for my board shorts because, the size was so big.
Gradually, his desire came back, and so did his competitive spirit. Unhappy with what he'd become, he started appearing at the beach before dawn again. He was running and swimming and surfing and doing hundreds of sit-ups every day. He surprised his old mates by turning up in Hawaii late last year, looking like the Occhi of old.
I went down to the beach at Pipeline to check it, and it was a morning of the trials, and it was really quite messy. And I saw him walking along. There was no one on the beach, no one anywhere. I just saw him and Damien Hardman walking along the beach together to go for the early. And he looked that young and looked that fit that it brought a smile to my face. I just stood there and went, wow, it was fantastic to see him back so strong, And he looked like he was a teenager again.
Not only did he look good, he managed to get a wildcard start in the Pipeline Masters. He surfed through the trials unbeaten in 10 rounds to make the final against Kelly Slater. History will show Slater won the contest and the world title for the 3rd time that day. But it seemed more significant that at 29, Occhi was back.
Yeah, I feel really proud of him. I think it's a good effort. A lot of people had written him off, and I knew that he still had it in him. It was just a matter of whether he wanted to do it or not.
Coming as Occhilupo claws down the line.
At Kira, Slater would beat Occhilupo once more by a narrow margin. But you could sense that Occhi would have his day against the world champion. He has proved he can mix it with the world's best. And unlike many other famous sporting comeback stories, this one seems destined for a happy ending. Surfing's prodigal son has returned.
I feel like I'm surfing good enough, and I feel like I'm surfing probably in my prime, maybe the best I've ever surfed. I feel the strongest too, and I've got a few years left, and I just don't want to be, about 35 or 38 and say, geez, I was fit and I should have given it another go, because, it's one life, and I feel like I owe it to myself, and more than anything, to give it another shot.
Autumn sees the World Tour down here in Australia. Mark Occhilupo just might be the man to blunt the ambitions of some of the rising stars of the sport. Later on Sports Sunday, we go to the races to sample the spirit of the battler. And after the break, up the pole with a world champ.
I think I'd encourage people to come and have a look at Evolve when she's competing, and I'm sure you'll be impressed and entertained.
Well, I always wanted to be a trainer, but I wanted to raise my family first because I had 6 kids. It's a bit tough, 6 kids.
Monday night at the movies.
I have a feeling this is going to be a very interesting flight.
This is not your average plane trip.
Is that man with the handcuffs dangerous?
He is not your average terrorist.
That man upstairs is one of the most dangerous terrorists in the world.
But this is one ride.
Please don't shoot me! I don't want to die!
That's action all the way. Double your frequent fighter points.
Tell me you're good at this.
I'm the best.
Wesley Snipes, Elizabeth Hurley.
Always bet on black.
Passenger 57, 8:30 Monday on 9.
The Liberal government promised to get Victoria moving. Victoria moving with a Liberal government. Authorised P. Bajoli, Liberal Party, Melbourne.
What's the most important thing when buying a used car?
That's right, reliability. And at Daniel Prince Motors, we specialise only in reliable used cars at the right price. A huge range of makes and models, all totally reliable. And at Daniel Prince Motors, every car is backed by a 12-month unlimited kilometre warranty with 24-hour roadside assistance, 12 months servicing free, and our exclusive 9-minute finance approval scheme. Why do we do all this?
To make you happy!
Daniel Prince Motors, Nepean Highway, Garden Vale. You must give us a try.
It's looking good.
Make more of your home's natural beauty with Cabot's Timber Finishes.
This is no ordinary eye drop. It's a more refreshing kind of eye relief. It's Visine Revive. It cools and refreshes. Visine Revive puts the moisture in as it gets the red out.
We don't have financial problems as a state, apart from the fact that our revenue's down.
Same guilty party. Authorised P. Bajoli, Liberal Party, Melbourne.
Last September, Emma George was just another enthusiastic athlete out to conquer the mysteries of pole vaulting. Last week, she drove in the Grand Prix celebrity race, swept into that high-profile company by an extraordinary summer during which she broke 4 world records. The journey from obscurity to the heights has been exhilarating, but not without its share of stress. Now sidelined by injury, Emma has taken time to consider if she really enjoys the attention after all. Mary Gearan reports.
Warning, says the pole label. Pole vaulting is a dangerous activity. Severe injury, paralysis and death have occurred. It must have been like a call to arms for Emma George.
Yeah, that's much better. Clear ad for remaining in the competition.
I mean, I look at it and I think this is like a strange sport. I mean, what's the point of sticking a pole in there and seeing how high you can go? It's really weird. But I mean, you can look at a lot of sports like that and think that. But I enjoy pole vault a lot. I enjoy it more than I did long jumping and sprinting, just because of the technical side and that it's fun, sort of going up in the air. And there's always the challenge that you have to really think about what you're doing before you take off.
Too close, and your pole is up for too long.
She is quite exceptional in how quickly she has picked up the sport, regardless of her sex. She's very few people have done as well as she has.
I always say if Emma went missing, instead of looking around, you'd look up first to see where she was. Panic, where's Emma? Up to the spouting, up the posts at home when she was that age. Just as high as she could get, really.
Even at 2, George was blessed with a kind of spatial genius, partly because she's constantly flinging herself about. A member of the flying fruit fly circus at 9, bungee jumping at 16, and state-level sprints, hurdles and long jump in her teens.
It seems like everything I've done has just geared me towards pole vaulting, which I didn't really realise until I started sort of a year and a half, 2 years ago. The dedication that you needed has sort of helped me really well now, because I don't worry about going to train. It's just something I do and I enjoy doing.
When she was small, I can recall one morning I was going to work at 7 o'clock, and she was there jumping up and down on the trampoline, and I don't know how old she was, probably 2 or 2.5, 3. And I said to her, what are you doing on the trampoline, Em? And she said, trying to get fit.
One might suspect the good old-fashioned bursts of physical enthusiasm were encouraged by Father Noel and Mother Merrin growing up in the country Victorian town of Beechworth.
We used to have do chin-ups at home and then have sprints out on the oval and go down the state school and see how many times you could go back and forth on the monkey bars.
It's a close-knit, if hyperactive, family, but this is one of the few times the Georges had seen their daughter since last winter, the last time she was anonymous, before she went on a world record-breaking spree. Raising the standard from 4 metres 23 to 4 metres 41.
Well, up and over yet again, and she can't believe it, 4 metres 41.
But during an intense few months, George gradually found herself losing her bearings. Not from all the jumping, but the sensational media attention.
Everyone's sort of finding it just strange to handle because it's been so quick over the past 2 months. We've sort of gone from nothing to sort of being world record holder, and the jump's been really quite large, so I think it's going to take us a while to adjust to it.
Injury has given George the breather she seemed to need. After straining her tricep in Adelaide, she won't compete till May in the US. It's also finally a chance for the world record to gather some dust. Women's pole vaulting has only just become a fully fledged international sport. And at this early stage, George has single-handedly revolutionised the event, raising the bar in huge leaps. The Europeans have gone up by small increments to get more financial incentives.
There have been women pole vaulting, but generally what women have done is it hasn't really looked all that spectacular, the way they've vaulted, because of physical limitations. But Emma vaults like a competitive, reasonably good male vaulter, and that's the thing which is exciting for people to watch.
To get some idea of her impact on the sport, women had been achieving up to 67% of heights men do. In 3 months, Emma has thrust that to 72%. And she's not putting a limit on her own potential. In fact, in the rare quiet moments, she's been known to bet on her own performances.
I've got a huge bit of seaweed.
So that means you win the bet?
The bet was that you guys had to catch gummy shark before I broke the world record, and you owed me dinner. I think I've appreciated my breaks a lot more this summer because it's been so hectic the past couple of months. I mean, it's been all exciting, and when I look back now and think about everything, it's been really amazing, and sort of getting to drive in the car race and, gladiators and all these things that I never, like this time last year, I would have never dreamt of happening, so it's been all exciting.
Practising for last week's Grand Prix celebrity race, she was still coming to terms with being classed as either a celebrity or a racer, but she pulled both roles off with style, coming third and winning over the crowd.
And I was in second, I thought, this can't be right, and then Ian sort of got past, and I thought, well, I'll just try and stay calm, and I could see Lee Canning coming up behind me. I go, oh no, I didn't want that, so I was just keeping my foot down and just trying to take the lines and keep calm, but it was a ball.
While George might have been sometimes uncomfortable with her public role, the fruits of her fame are showing on suburban tracks around the country.
Okay, a couple more of those. We'll put a bar. Okay.
Jenny Laskowska has traded in her discus and hammer for the pole, inspired by Emma's example.
Fantastic, I'm really proud of her. I've known Emma for ages now, when she started her sprints and hurdles and that, and she's a great female to know.
Jenny knows it's a dangerous sport. She knew someone who died doing it. But Emma has shown throwing yourself around can be safe if you can just stay level-headed.
I'm sure the attention's going to die down quite a fair bit now, and also now that I'm not competing, it's you won't see me around so much now. I'll just be training again for June, July season.
You think people are getting sick of your face, do you?
I don't know, I hope not. Probably are though.
Hopefully, we'll be seeing Emma's face with a winning smile when she competes for the first World Indoor Championship medal early next year in Paris. Later on Sports Sunday, Daryl Hare, the man who called a chukker has his say.
Oh, well, I wasn't aware at the time of the full ramifications, but it was something that I felt, you know, as a conscious thing, and the way cricket should be played, I felt it was the right thing to do.
Four weeks of sensational cricket and extraordinary controversy climaxes in Lahore tonight. Australia face Sri Lanka in the World Cup final, one of the greatest spectacles in international sport. Catch all the action live from 8:30 tonight.
Red leader to flight, please advise fuel status. Yeah, okay. No problem.
Low on time and low on fuel? Try Mobile Card Express. First, swipe your card, then fill up, and you're away.
Red 4, please advise fuel status.
Red leader, fuel is A-OK.
Card Express, the fastest way to pay at the pump at Quicks and mobile service stations.
Microsoft Office 95. Microsoft Plus, Publisher, Small Business Pack, Microsoft Mouse, free internet offer, Windows 95 training CD, 3 CD samplers and more. The Microsoft Office Value Pack. At only $599, it's our best software offer ever.
Hey, you've got to hide your love away.
It's free to love. It's free. It's free to love.
Anyone shopping for shares can now buy their own blue chip portfolio with Aussie shares.
Hello, girl.
Hello,
Cheryl. I've just been checking out my stocks and shares.
Don't you mean stocks and sauces?
No. Woolies is part of my Aussie shares portfolio, so I just popped in for a look.
Portfolios start around $3,000 and you pay for them through any Commonwealth bank.
I'm a stash.
If you'd like to be a real shareholder in Blue Chip Australia, telephone Aussie shares on 13 15 20 or see daily newspapers.
It's a 5-star Mazda.
We've extended the Mazda 5-star summer, so you can still save on the Zippy 121 at $15,790 drive away and the 323 at a run-out drive away price of $20,690. The Protégé shades from $25,685 including air, the stunning Estina shades from $28,990 with air, or the 5-star rated 626 Eclipse from $32,990.
It's a 5-star Mazda summer. You got it made.
It really is a 5-star way to save.
Travellers once went to airports, Hong Kong or Singapore for the best duty-free deals, but now they're heading for a city where you'll find the Pentax Z70 fully automatic SLR kit with Sigma 35-80 zoom lens. A city where you'll receive 8 rolls for the price of 5 when you buy Kodak 400 speed film. So what's the best city for duty-free? This city, City International Duty Free.
Australia's #1 duty-free store.
National 9 News with Brian Naylor. A current affair with Ray Martin, bringing you the world like no other news service can.
Channel 9 News.
Time to take another look at those scoreboards. Here's Mary.
Thanks, Ken. While most boxing fans are looking to Las Vegas this afternoon for the long-awaited Mike Tyson-Frank Bruno clash, in Berlin, Joe Bugner's comeback attempt has come unstuck. The former European champion was sent to the canvas in the 6th round of his World Boxing Organisation title bout against Scott Welch. Welch, who is the British and Commonwealth title holder, floored 46-year-old Bugner with a straight right. Bugner then took a standing count. Welch charged after him, attacking until the referee took mercy and stopped the fight. The Victorian Kings Cup rowing crew has taken out the coveted title for Interstate 8s for the 11th year in a row. With the awesome foursome making up one half of the crew, the Victorians won easily in the final on Sydney's Penrith Lakes course.
And the Victorian crew going for 11 in succession. What a record that is. Can they maintain their advantage over New South Wales? Clear water between Victoria and their nearest rivals now. They've increased it out to a length and a quarter, maybe even a length and a half over New South Wales. A splendid effort from the Victorian 8, coached by Noel Donaldson. And today they look in absolutely tip-top condition. It was close last year in Western Australia, but the Victorians leaving nothing to chance this afternoon.
We've seen some big margins today, and we're going to see another one in this race. And
even though it doesn't count for Olympic selection, this race, the fact that there are 6 of the Olympic squad in this boat will confirm what the selectors have been thinking. The awesome foursome in the stern seat, in the stern of the Victorian 8, followed by Richard Shenfield, Anthony Ellis, Peter Murphy and Ben Dodwell, and Cox by David Colvin, coming up with 100 metres to go.
They've taken it up now, the Victorians making sure they're going to do this properly. The crowd cheering them on now, plenty of Victorian supporters here, and the Victorian 8, coached by Noel Donaldson, are going to win the King's Cup for the 11th year in succession. 39 strokes per minute as they cross the line. The Victorians have done it yet again, well rowed, a fantastic effort. New South Wales will get up a second, and a great effort from Queensland. They've come in 3rd place.
Sri Lanka is far from overawed in the lead up to its first World Cup final appearance. Coach Dav Watmore says the Sri Lankans will be happy to bat first against Australia tonight, confident they can build a winning score. Meanwhile, at the MCG, Western Australia continues to struggle against Victoria, the visitors losing a 4th wicket to be 4 for 137. And in Adelaide, Tasmania is fighting back against South Australia with Michael Di Venuto leading the way. Needing 370 off at least 96 overs, Tasmania is 3 for 152 off 46 overs. Di Venuto is on 62, Sean Young 32. Queensland triathlete Brad Bevan has taken out the 4th round of the National Series today at Maroochydore on the Sunshine Coast. A brilliant final run leg saw Bevan win narrowly from arch-rival Greg Welch, and at the same time sew up his 3rd consecutive National Grand Prix title. Miles Stewart finished 3rd in the searing heat. Earlier, the Gold Coast's Jackie Gallagher won the women's race to clinch the series with 1 round remaining. Dutch tennis player Paul Haarhuis has continued his giant-killing run in the $2.8 million Champions Cup. Haarhuis, who beat Pete Sampras in the quarterfinals, took out Goran Ivanisevic in the semis in straight sets. Michael Chang also advanced to the final after defeating Marcelo Rios 7-6, 6-3. And now, Ken, it's back to you.
Thank you, Mary. Still to come on Sports Sunday, Rugby Union ponders its professional future. And up next, the battler behind Brawny Spirit.
You just battle on. Every time we thought, oh, give up, you know, don't go on. I say, don't go on. He'd go out the next time and he'd win a race.
But exactly what Rugby Union will have to surrender in exchange for its many pieces of silver is being argued right across the game's vast community.
On 60 Minutes, the mother caught smuggling her dead baby through customs.
It's just so traumatic.
The crime that's become an international tug-of-war.
I'm not this kind of bad person they're trying to make me out to be.
I spent last week with her, and believe me, it's a mystery to rival Azaria Chamberlain.
Also, after 4 years of trying to live it down.
The family's from hell.
New trouble and strife at Sylvania Waters.
I reckon you should cut this right this very minute.
Tonight, 60 Minutes.
This Easter, there's one thing you shouldn't forget. And that's a safety check from a Goodyear Auto Service Centre, which right now is under $30. That's less than half price. Phone 132343.
The beast must learn of love before the last rose petal falls, or be doomed forever. But who could ever learn to love a beast? Don't miss Disney's Beauty and the Beast, the most romantic love story ever told. Book now. The Beast won't be here forever.
I've taken a lot of risks making my money, so the fewer the risks investing it, the better. That's why I listen to the right people. MLC, they're like a good pit crew. They're a strong team to have behind you when you're building an investment portfolio. MLC's philosophy is simple: performance with lower than average risks. If money matters, talk to MLC.
See if you can find something to chuck up the back wheels, will you? Get the yellow pages at the back, will you?
You want to be stuck here all day?
Central Garage.
Yeah, I need someone to look at me ute.
When can you drop it in?
When can we drop it in?
Pretty soon.
With a simple on-screen display, you just can't go wrong with the 6-head Philips Matchline Hi-Fi VCR.
Right now, buy a set of tyres from a Goodyear Auto Service Centre and we'll follow up the sale with $100 worth of free service. Phone 132343.
The racing world is full of dreamers and full of hopes that are shattered by bad luck or bad horses. And yet, once in a while, along comes a story about the battler who beats the odds, who is finally rewarded for long years of struggle. That story and that man is Melbourne trainer Mickey Winks. Jeff Hutchison reports on the triumph of a gentle spirit.
We were very young when we were married. I was 16, he was 18. And we've been married 40 years. So we stuck it out where a lot of people thought we wouldn't. Of course, there was times when I thought, just get away from it, you know? It just causes nothing but heartache.
I think she'd miss it too.
No. Try me.
There, yeah.
Try me.
She loves to come to it. How would you like to be locked up at home all day? This is beautiful, isn't it? Oh boy. Oh boy. Fall now. Don't bite. Don't bite. Bring it. Stop it. Good boy. Oh now. Steady now. Steady, steady.
Mickey Winks is a 59-year-old father of 6. He first rode track work here at Flemington for his own dad 47 years ago, and still each day is full of wonder.
Once you've been on a horse and loved them, you'll always love them, I think. I get a bit teary when I talk. I do, because I love horses so much.
Yeah.
He loves them better than me, doesn't he?
Do you love him better than Marlene?
Oh, not really.
Tell the truth.
Well, we've been together so long now.
He's been a jockey, a drover. He's worked in factories. He's been a milkman. And now, as the trainer of a lovely little horse he calls Scrawny, Mickey Winks is being dragged from dreamy obscurity into racing's big time.
And on the grandstand, Brawny Spirit and Sequalo. I think they're in front out here. It's Brawny Spirit, Sequalo. Brawny Spirit and Sequalo. Brawny Spirit taking the lead. Brawny Spirit, he's won it from Sequalo.
I wasn't sure whether he was going to win or not. 50 yards to go. But when he got that nose in front of Sequalo, I knew he wouldn't give in then.
Do you get nervous on race day?
Not too bad. I have a couple of scotches.
I think I burst into tears. I was with my girlfriend and I grabbed hold of her. I was screaming, he's won, he's won. She said, no, he hasn't. And I said, yes, he has. And he hadn't even gotten to the post.
When Brawny Spirit dived for the line to win last Monday's Newmarket Handicap, he took his earnings past $1 million. Not a bad return for a horse which cost just $3,200. A horse which gave a battler a chance.
Oh, he looked like a weanling. A weanling. I thought, oh, what am I going to do with this one, you know? Anyway, when I rode him, it was different underneath. Yeah, he's very strong underneath. Oh, God, he's small. Good boys. There's plenty of handy horses, but not the ones that go like this bloke. And old Sam there, you're taking the races, you know they're going to try their heart out for you.
Many a time I said to him, why don't you give up? And he kept saying, we'll get there, we'll get there.
All right.
You just battle on. Every time we thought, oh, give up, you know, don't go on. I say, don't go on. He'd go out the next time and he'd win a race.
Judges call for a photo. They're wide apart. Brawny's got it. Brawny Spirit's held on to win, number 5.
The VRC, for putting it on. And this lovely little lady, she's giving me a smile. It's put me right off. So, thanks very much, everybody.
Like when we won on Monday, Mick went straight home and had pizza for tea.
He didn't take you out to tea?
No, he's got to go home to bed. He gets too tired. So the family and I, we went down to the Chinese in Footscray and we had a lovely meal. But he never goes out. No, it's always got to go home and he'll have his pizza or his chow food. And he hasn't done a lot of things. He's never been in an aeroplane. He's never really been on a holiday since the youngest was 3.
And how old's the youngest now?
20... How old is he, Denise? Timothy? 27. 27. Yeah.
The Hayes family has Lindsay Park. Mickey has Marlene, Denise, 5 sons, 8 nags, and a dream which tough times could not destroy.
Oh, when you're not training winners, no one wants you. No one wants you. But your friends generally stick by you.
You know, there's times when you think, how am I going to pay that bill? Or, you know, and as I said, then next thing you've got a winner and you pay that bill. So that may, even if you've got nothing after that, at least it's got you that far. Yeah. So we always ate well and we always slept good.
Come on, who wants to go on first? Ruby? Oh, come on. Oh, do you want your daddy to lift you on me?
Yeah, Mick can lift you
on. What a
go.
Yeah.
You just hold in there. Hold on to a bit of that hair there.
You got him? Isn't she beautiful, Ruby?
Will he retire, ever?
No. No, this is his life. This is what he loves.
So if I asked you what you might be doing in 10 years' time, what do you reckon?
Down here, probably. See if I can walk. I'll be here. We'll all be here to help him.
And yesterday, Mickey probably needed it. For just 5 days after the greatest win of his career, Brawny Spirit suffered a tendon injury even before he got to the racetrack. He might be out for up to 4 months, but I'd like to wager a bob or two that tonight Mickey isn't dwelling on the lost opportunities or the few extra quid he may have been getting used to. He'll just be wondering when he can next get on Scrawny's back to share a cool Flemington morning, for those intimate moments seem to mean more to Mickey Wink than any race win ever will.
I hope it never leaves out. I hope I can ride it till I die, you know. And that's all I've got to say. I really do.
He gets all emotional.
Oh, well, I've been riding since I was a little kid.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't.
A wonderful character, Mickey Winks. Even his name seems to bring a smile to your face. Still to come on the show, Phil King's medal mission for Atlanta. And after the break, is the game they play in heaven about to go to hell in a landslide of cash?
Do you worry a bit about the future of the game at club level?
With the senior players being as greedy as they have been with the cut up of the cake, yes.
The coaches are doing this year a much better job than last year, and the results are being forthcoming for the athletes.
Witness the most amazing television special of the year.
I found the most extraordinary collection of films.
The sensational story of an unknown film pioneer.
Imagine if a film like Citizen Kane was to suddenly come out of the blue. I am just flabbergasted.
Unbelievable pictures.
Here, seen for the very first time, Gallipoli.
Incredible scenes.
I was quite staggered.
Greatest film discovery of the last 50 years.
A special that outraged New Zealand.
I appeal to Channel 9 not to show this programme.
Forgotten Silver premieres Tuesday 8:30 on 9.
Unzip the Billy Guides and Chandler's Homemaker Super Savers catalogue and you can win a room full of furniture and electrical appliances. You'll also find a huge range of great products and big savings. The Billy Guides and Chandler's Homemaker Super Savers catalogue. Out now.
What the real paint expert says about Berger.
Oi! What about the rest? Oh, finally I get a coat of Berger solar screen for some real UV protection. Then he chucks it in because it's too hot. I tell you, this heat's driving me up the you-know-what. Wow! Without solar screen, I'd really be under the weather.
Berger solar screen. If your walls could talk, they'd say Berger keeps on keeping on.
We're sick of all these different types of home loans. Why can't we have one loan with everything? One that we can take with us to our next house. One that gives us other loans at home loan rates. A loan that gives us a lot, in fact.
At Commonwealth Bank, we understand it would be easier if one home loan had everything you want. Introducing the Complete Home Loan, with 7.9% guaranteed for the first 12 months. How did you do that? The Complete Home Loan is everything you've been asking for in a home loan.
1,021, 1,022, 1,023, 1,024, 1,020... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo!
Accumulate 7 nights at flag properties in Australia or New Zealand and you'll get an 8th night absolutely free.
Dawn Fraser, legend for big Olympic wins.
And I'm going for me 5th, Atlanta. I just scratched this McDonald's game ticket and I could win one of 5 trips to the Olympics in Atlanta.
To swim?
Or a Sony PlayStation with software, an IBM family PC package, or even...
Dawn Fraser, legend, another big win.
One of 8 Honda Odysseys, instantly. Look,
Dawn, you're playing with your food. Oops. It's easy to win in McDonald's Olympic McMatch and win.
No one has ever come from 2 laps down to win the Indy 500. Now Jacques Villeneuve will enter that straight and see the last lap board, telling him he has just 1 lap to go till he is the Indy 500 champion.
Rugby union is about to begin its first professional season. After a battle for its television rights turned into a fight over its major talent, the game has officially renounced its most ancient distaste for sports as paid employment. In the circumstances, rugby union had little choice but to accept some sort of sweeping change in order to save itself. But in keeping its side of the deal, will the game lose its soul? Tim Sheridan reports.
I guess the main fear or the risk is that we throw the baby out of the bathwater, that there's a certain sort of culture and ethos in rugby which distinguishes it from other codes, and in the move to professionalism and player payments that we actually don't forget that there's a certain culture, a certain sort of fabric to the game that we don't want to lose.
Money, as the old saying goes, is for pain. But exactly what rugby union will have to surrender in exchange for its many pieces of silver is being argued right across the game's vast community. Already the view from the front of rugby's spanking new gravy train appears very different to that from the rear.
Do you worry a bit about the future of the game at club level?
With the senior players being as greedy as they have been with the cut up of the cake, yes. I think we're starting to look like a bit like the feeder system that first grade cricket has ended up, and if the accent sort of goes more and more towards the Super 12s and Test series, then it might be at the demise of the club game.
Are the players greedy? No, they're not greedy. The players put in a lot of hard effort and work into training. The officials and the coaches that I've spoken to are very, very impressed with the commitment of training. The players are now required 7, 8 organised training sessions a week. They're playing almost double the number of games they've played in the past. They're travelling 4 to 5 months a year. they've had to give up their other jobs. It's not an issue of greed at all. It's an issue of players being compensated for the time, effort, skill and expertise and talents they have.
At the middle of it all, of course, is pay television. Last year, rugby union found itself at the centre of a contest for broadcast rights. What emerged was that a few South African, New Zealand and Australian officials had signed away broadcast rights without contracting their elite players, who consequently held all the aces as two rival media groups battled for the game. In the end, Australian players pledged their loyalty to the establishment in exchange for a lot of control over Australia's share of the pay television booty. According to the deal, 95% of the Australian Rugby Football Union's $10.5 million will be shared between as few as 150 players.
What some people tend to forget is that that is only a proportion of the total revenue that the ARFU receive in a year. There's also the marketing revenue, the sponsorship revenue, the gate receipts revenue that make up an enormous amount of money that the unions have, and that in itself is, I know for a fact, being filtered down to the other clubs and the juniors for development.
Solicitor and former Wallaby Tony Dempsey represents the 100 or more contracted provincial players, and his association will also include yet-to-be-elected club captains. The drawback for the elite players is that the pay TV deal is a flat 10-year arrangement, and as more players are paid, the pie will look smaller. So too will the ARFU's 5%. 95% of your pay television money must be used at the discretion of the players. Can you realistically make that deal work?
It's all very well for the benefit of hindsight. Again, I mean, I think that was there was some pretty tense negotiations and agreements were struck basically to save the game. I just think it's one of those things that, when the dust settles, we can examine it, and it may well be, as player payments extend, we move to more of a situation where there's an employer, namely the union, and there are employees, namely players, and how we pay them is our worry, rather than sort of earmarking sources of revenue.
Right past the mark, fellas. Right past the mark. Keep going in. Right past the mark.
It's probably down at club level that rugby stands to lose the most out of its change of stature. For years, many clubs have paid a few select stars, but in secret. A curious thing about rugby's turn to professionalism is that most clubs are even more reluctant to talk about paying players now than they were when it was considered against the rules. The reason appears to be a fear of what the temptations of an open player market might lead to. At its base level, many consider the game woefully ill-suited and unprepared for the notion of pay for play. Only one Australian club has publicly offered rugby players money. Warringah claiming a system of equal pay for all first graders is the only way to preserve club unity. Down the road, Northern Suburbs has attracted several top Warringah players. Football manager Michael Parris called a player meeting and took the rumour mill head on.
There is not one player who has come to this club this year has been paid any money to come to this club. That's a fact.
At one point, administrators considered trying to prohibit payment at club level, a legal folly since dropped. But there are now transfer restrictions between clubs, despite players having no contracts. To some, this is the thin end of the wedge, the beginning of the end of an essential rugby freedom.
The player, because there's no contracts or anything, if he wishes to change clubs, he should have the right to do that. It's freedom in a sense for the players. If he wants to progress through, he thinks his football is going to be better aided at another club, well, he should have the right to go there.
Andrew Willett is one of a small but growing number of players now doing the return trip across what was once the great divide between rugby league and rugby union. Last year he earned money in 14 first-grade appearances for South Sydney. Now he plays rugby union for Eastern Suburbs. Surely Easts are paying you?
No, they're not. No, I'm not getting a cent from East, and I can honestly say that. East were very, very honest right from the word go. They said to me that they were about creating an atmosphere about the place that people wanted to play there, and if they paid me, then it wouldn't be fair on the other players who put in over the years and whatnot, and they'd have to pay everybody else because it simply wouldn't be equitable.
But at representative level, Andrew is busy chasing a contract in the New South Wales squad. His point about equality is what many see as the big difference between rugby's top and its bottom in the handling of professionalism.
I know even at the elite level, Tim, certain blokes have had trouble coming to grips with the fact that the halfback's on $50,000 a year and he's got $200,000-$300,000 centres outside of him, but that's professional sport. At club level, that's a bit against the culture, as everyone knows it, and we'd hate to see the ethos of the game go at club level. I think by and large the average club player would be appalled to think he's busting his gut when someone's doing all right out of it.
Does the notion of payment for play sit comfortably with rugby clubs, even now, even that it's legal now?
No, I don't think so. I think professionalism is still very much a dirty word in rugby union. One of the clubs actually suggested to me that they might be able to do a couple of things for me, and I said because of the geography of the club that I didn't think I'd be able to, it wasn't a convenient thing for me given that I work in the city and it was a long way to go, and they suggested to me that they might be able to help me out with transport. Now I didn't follow it any further, but I'm still not sure whether or not they were offering me a car or whether or not they were going to get someone to pick me up or maybe give me a cab fare, I'm not quite sure.
Or a bus ticket.
Maybe a bus ticket.
Here's Bowen. Yes, Little and Willie-O!
Making sure rugby union's world game top end doesn't squash the boutique nature of its grassroots is the big challenge of the money era. At some levels, the old open secret system of remuneration still appears more attractive than the new accountability. For the vast numbers of Australians who aren't on a contract but still love the game, the fervent hope is that the more things change, the more they stay the same.
It's more than a sport, and it's more than a mass entertainment product. Rugby has provided a social lifestyle to people that really makes them feel as though they belong to something. You always had that sense of belonging, and rugby, I think, can't lose that. That's absolutely imperative, that people have a sense of belonging, that fabric, that social lifestyle must be maintained, and I'm going to make sure it is.